Well, good morning. It's Friday, October 24, 2025. Oh, Kevin's on his way. Should be here momentarily because it is just about 8 o'clock and the boy is punctual. Punctual. So he should be here any moment. And we're going to put the, well, first of all, let me mention that I put the new tachometer sender with the seal in yesterday. Stepped right in, all ready to go. Looks good. See how it goes. And let's see, we're going to put into this bike today this Tri-Spark ignition system. And I love Tri-Sparks. They're a really, really neat ignition system. I don't use them very often. They're usually about $100 more than all of the various other ones that are available. And so I usually use the vape or the Payson or the Boyer. Speaking of Boyer, which is the granddaddy of them all, I put a Boyer in my Norton back in approximately 1975, 1976, and it has not missed a beat ever since. So old technology, and that's really old technology, an old model, and it runs like a top. So you can't beat a Boyer, even though it is really antique in its manufacturing materials, shall we say, the pickup and stuff like that. I like the vape because it has a really nice machined magnetic pickup that's very impressive, and I like the Payson. I used so many Paysons that my buddies were starting to call me Payson Frank. But so I usually go with vape using Payson as backup, and my third choice is Boyer, and I've never had to make the choice beyond that. So I've only put in one or two of these Tri-Sparks. Usually it's supplied by the client. The advantage is there's no black box. Everything's inside this pickup, which is really nice. The disadvantage is I don't like the wiring diagram they give us, because basically it's not a wiring diagram. It's a picture of wires, which for their intended customer, which is the guy who does not have any formal electronics training, is probably a really good idea. But it makes me crazy because it's a picture of wires rather than a wiring schematic. Now, here are the options, and here's the picture of the wires that we're going to use, and it is for a positive ground system. Okay, they ground it to the pillar bolt. This little guy goes to the pillar bolt, and I've never liked that, because if the pillar bolt has to be loosened in order to time this thing, you play with the ground wire a little bit there. And that bothers me. And the second thing is I use the black-white wires and black-yellow wires to fire the coils, rather than red and black, which is traditional with everybody else. I would prefer to if they had just wired this thing with a white wire for ignition and a red wire to go up to the ground somewhere, and black wire that goes up to the coil, and an appropriate jumper. So I would like to see a red and black and a white. But I don't know. It works, and all you have to do is follow the picture. If you do it like the picture says, you're in good shape. I'm just old-fashioned. I like a schematic versus a picture. Okay, so basically that's it. Great unit, solid as a rock. Got a nice little LED for setting the static timing. And you can't beat that with a stick. So we're going to install this. I've only installed one or two in the past, mainly because of cost. And I'm not sure if Kevin has installed any of these. We'll ask him if he's ever done one of these. And if not, it's a new experience. If yes, then so much the better. So when he gets here, we'll start the process, and I'll go ahead and get set up. All right, let's start the process. Step one is to jack the bike up so the rear wheel is available to turn the motor over. Then we're going to find full advance. So Kevin's over here cranking on the on the jack, and I'll pull this little inspection cover off. Let's see if it's loose. No, I'll pull that off, and we'll start setting it up at full advance. All right, Kevin's got the rear wheel up in the air. I'm going to take this inspection cover off. I'm going to use my little modified, made on purpose remover, which for some reason seems to appall people, but it's the best way to take these things off, because just hit it gently and it never pops out of the slot, and it never damages the inspection cover plug. Use this one for this, use the big one for these. They never get damaged. It really works well. Don't be appalled that I'm using a impact tool on such a delicate part. All right, we're in fourth gear now. Wheels up in the air, plugs are out, and I'm going to set this thing to full advance. It's too bright. Now it's better for one person to do this because you can fiddle it back and forth. Now let's get this guy coming up on compression. Okay, it's coming up on compression. Doesn't matter which compression. Here comes the mark. Here come to Mark. Here come to Mark. Here come to Mark. Oh, here come to Mark. And now it's on 28. This early one doesn't have the notch. We're a little bit past it, just a little bit. And now back it up to take the slack out. It's right on 28. Now I'm going to mark this with white paint for visibility. Little white paint. I'll be back because this is not that much fun. All right, we're in fourth gear now. Wheels up in the air, plugs are out, and I'm going to set this thing to full advance. It's too bright. Now it's better for one person to do this because you can fiddle it back and forth. Now let's get this guy coming up on compression. Okay, it's coming up on compression. Doesn't matter which compression. Here comes the mark. Here come to Mark. Here come to Mark. Here come to Mark. Oh, here come to Mark. And now it's on 28. This early one doesn't have the notch. We're a little bit past it, just a little bit. And now back it up to take the slack out. It's right on 28. Now I'm going to mark this with white paint for visibility. Little white paint. I'll be back because this is not that much fun. All right, we're in fourth gear now. Wheels up in the air, plugs are out, and I'm going to set this thing to full advance. It's too bright. Now it's better for one person to do this because you can fiddle it back and forth. Now let's get this guy coming up on compression. Okay, it's coming up on compression. Doesn't matter which compression. Here comes the mark. Here come to Mark. Here come to Mark. Here come to Mark. Oh, here come to Mark. And now it's on 28. This early one doesn't have the notch. We're a little bit past it, just a little bit. And now back it up to take the slack out. It's right on 28. Now I'm going to mark this with white paint for visibility. Little white paint. I'll be back because this is not that much fun. All right, we're in fourth gear now. Wheels up in the air, plugs are out, and I'm going to set this thing to full advance. It's too bright. Now it's better for one person to do this because you can fiddle it back and forth. All right, with the bike set to full advance, Kevin's going to install the rotor over here according to whatever it is they say. He's going to do this.
The instructions.
Hey, you know what? I'm going to give you a microphone. Hang on. Let's hang. All right, so Kevin is going to do the initial setting for the timing marks on this side, and I'm going to turn the mic over to Kevin. So go ahead.
All right. Well, according to the instructions with the Tri-Spark, you put the pickup here and center it on the holes. Then there are two white lines, marks, one for clockwise, one for anti-clockwise. So once you have this centered as best you can with the two holes that hold it, you take a marker and you draw a line either across the anti-clockwise or the clockwise. Obviously in this instance it's the anti-clockwise. And then you take the rotor and you make sure that the little magnets are lined up with that line.
All right.
And it should work.
And then there's after we do this, there's a clearance check
Yes.
that I've done, and it's never failed, but they give you a clearance gauge, and we'll do that also.
Yep.
Right across across from the flat. I'm going to edit out all that waiting. As long as you have good clearance, we're good.
Oh yeah.
As long as it's not rubbing.
Yeah, nope.
Okay.
We're good all the way around.
Good. Good clearance to the rotor.
Yep.
All right. Now, is that rotor tight enough now that we're
Yes.
run it up? Tight enough? All right. So let's stop this for a moment, and we're going to run some wires. All right. Kevin is running the wires. He's putting the pillar bolts in now to secure the stator of the unit lightly. He's going to put the little red wire to the bottom pillar bolt, and we're just going to assume that even lightly held in place will be a good enough ground for the system to operate. Done it before, worked just fine. Bothers me, but c'est la vie, that's just me. I'd rather see a red wire going up to the coil area to pick up a nice ground.
Okay.
Okay, so that's good. These are run. There's plenty of service loop, shall we say, that'll be fit like that once we put the lid on. These are going to go up the leg to up here. We'll just put a couple of nylon ties there. Run it into here, and let's split these and put ends on them.
What kind, male, female? Over here, I see. Oh, that's fixed. That's nice.
Okay, I've got the wires hooked to the sender unit and running up the leg up to here and between the coils and over here, and I have picked up the black wire, black white going to white yellow right here. I'll strap them down nicely when I get done. Okay, so we've got ignition going down. Now the second wire is your black yellow, and that goes over there to the positive connector on that coil. You can go to either coil, but I happen to put it over there. And I was getting ready to put the wires on, and they're very close to the nuts on the rocker boxes. Plus, I'll show you what happens with Norton coils. The mount, can you get that out?
Oh, yeah.
Let me show them that right now.
Yeah.
Right here on this mount, see how it's pinched? That's because it was slightly too small from the factory, and they put them in these clamps and pinch them down. And that actually damages the inside of the coil, sometimes fatally. Now you'll get a shorted coil because of that. So the cure is to put a couple of washers inside this clamp when you put the coils in. Now these coils tested just fine, thank you very much. But the client brought with his Tri-Spark 2 brand new coils. So since they're pinched and since I have brand new ones supplied by the client, there's not a reason in the world why I shouldn't go ahead and install them. And they're over here, and they are actually Tri-Spark coils. Aren't they pretty? So let's see how they go. My goodness, isn't that pretty? So we're going to put real honest-to-God tri-spark coils on the bike with a tri-spark ignition. Gee willikers. All I have to do is find, let's see if we have those connectors everywhere. Yep, good. There they are. Okay, not bad. So I'll take this other one. We'll go over to the bench. Okay. All right. At this point in time, we have everything wired. Ran the wires down here. Now leaving a service loop. A service loop is a little bit of extra wire. See right here, it just goes down and then comes up. That's so that when it vibrates, it has a little wire to absorb the vibration rather than pulling on it. And a service loop is actually the technique of leaving extra wire where you can get at it in the future rather than running wires that are banjo tight. So always leave a little service loop when you're doing wiring. For example, this looks like it's too long. Well, yeah, it is, but it's also service loop. You can work with this in the future. Okay, so service loop is a good thing. We rounded up the legs. It's held in place. I put this guy back onto the tack cable. Up into here, we put the new coils in and ran the black yellow wire to the white yellow wire ignition and the black white wire to the far coil, jumpered it over to the right hand coil and ran the right hand coil to ground. It doesn't matter which one's which because they both get fired at the same time. But it's and then the wires are tied down. And at this point in time, Kevin has put new spark plug caps on. These are 5K ohm spark plug caps, and they just screw right on the ends. They're very nice. And that's because of the new electronic voltage regulator. They request 5K ohm spark plug wires or spark plug caps to help them work or to not stop them or harm them from working. So we've got new caps on here. We're going to put these on, and then we're going to try for spark and see what happens. And then we'll do the initial setting for the ignition down here, the static setting. That's where we are. All right, so we've got the unit installed. We have the wiring installed. I'm cheating. I'm taking this red wire, which would normally be on the pillar bolt here, and just running it to ground, okay? So I've only got one pillar bolt to worry about. The light is on with it set to 28 degrees. We're centered in the slot, and I'm going to loosen it now and move it fully counterclockwise. Right? So
light should remain on.
Light remains on. And this gives you a much better ground.
Mm-hmm.
Now you go clockwise until that light goes off. And right there. And they say 2 millimeters more, which to me means just a skosh. Right there. Okay? Now that theoretically should be
timed.
Right. It should run at that. Okay, now at this point in time, I'm just going to snug that down. And I'm going to call it a day. I'm going to put the oil in here. I'm going to put the oil in the rockers, so we have some in the sump. I don't remember if I did that or not. You know that? I may have already put the oil into the sump. I'll go over the videos.
Yep.
And so I'm going to put oil in the tank and make sure I got oil in the sump, whether I did it previously or I'll do it now, one or the other. And call it a day because A, I'm tired, and B, Kevin sounds like the walking wounded. So we're going to send him home to go to bed.
Feeling good now. No, I finally got a good night's sleep last night.
Yeah, go home and get some more.
Yeah, well, that's for sure. Yeah.
You sound like...
And my wife got me a tuna sandwich, so she knows I love tuna sandwiches. So
really?
That's my lunch. Yep. Okay. Oh, I love tuna sandwiches.
Well, go home.
I will in a minute.
Okay, I'm going to shut this off now, and we are done.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. I'm sending Kevin home. You know, because my philosophy, the best way to get rid of a cold is to give it away. And I'm going to send him home. I'm going to put the gas tank on the bike because now that I've got the wiring done underneath the tank, I can put the gas tank back on, hook up the gas lines, and I'm going to put oil in the primary, which is currently empty. I'm going to put oil in the tank, which is currently empty. I'm going to confirm that I did or did not put oil into the top end so that it's down in the sump. I'll do that by checking back on the videos. And if I didn't, I will. And then tomorrow, but just before Kevin leaves, we're going to do a spark test. And mañana we'll actually do a first start. So at this point, we've got power on, and I'm going to focus down on this spark plug real good and see if I can just stand right here. Okay, can you kick it by hand? Okay. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Good. It's just I don't know if it's worth doing it, but we'll see if we can catch the other.
Make sure.
Just catch.
It's your side. You might have messed up the wire.
That's true.
Ready?
Yep. Oh yeah. I saw it. Good. All right. So we got good spark.
Nice.
And we've got good static timing. So I'm going to do the oils and the gas tank, and I will do the first start tomorrow. Give Kevin another day to recuperate. Give me another day to come down with whatever he has.
Yeah.
I didn't say that. Okay, we're done for the day.
Cool.